Hi everyone, are we all good? I'm sorry about the lighting. I've not got my usual lighting with me, so I feel like I'm all shadowed. It's sat in bloody darkness, I'm not gonna lie. But making my face look really light. Are we all good though? Having a good week? I'm just gonna move, I think. Hopefully that might be better. That's a bit better. Yeah, all good. Yeah, thank you for everyone who sent the check-ins. Um, this lighting's doing my head in. I have to move it. Um, Thank you to everyone who said in the check-ins. Like I say, I'm still waiting on a few. Um, so I'm hoping that I'll get the rest at some point today or tomorrow. But everyone's doing really, really well. So thank you very much. So obviously it was the last week of the challenge. Now, before I continue, I just wanted to mention that a lot of people messaged me once I said that the challenge was finishing this week. A lot of people were panicking, going, "What's happening to the academy? Like, when's the next challenge?" Things like that. The academy doesn't shut; it's like a continuous thing. So the 6 weeks challenge was just to get us going, just to get the academy up and running and launching. There are going to be more 6 weeks challenges that will be taking place throughout the year. But obviously, I'm going to try and make things a lot more enjoyable, keep things a little bit different, and just by adding different competitions and challenges and things like that. So the next challenge is going to start in November, and it's going to be a step challenge. And obviously, the winner who gets the most step within a month throughout the month of November is going to get a prize, a cash prize as well. So I just didn't want people thinking that they had to leave the academy after the 6 weeks challenge. It still stays open. You'll still check in every week. We'll still have challenges. We'll still have other things going on. Like I say, we'll still have our guest speaker, which I'm going to announce this evening after the call tonight, because he's just confirmed his time and date with me. So I can share that with you. And there's also things that are going to be added onto the app, like recipe books and things like that. So there's going to be lots and lots of things going on. And lots of things going happening as we enter into Christmas and obviously into the new year. So this week, I don't think I need to admit anyone else. So this week, one of the topics that we are going to talk about. So what I want from every week is for you to have the chance to ask any questions that you feel like you need any help with, and also to kind of cover a certain topic that most of us will kind of experience or have experienced when we've done certain fat loss kind of programs before. So the one that does come up quite a lot, and the one that does get asked quite a lot by people in their check-ins, is how do we stay motivated when progress starts to slow down or as we start to go into a plateau? How can we, sorry, I'm getting pop-ups everywhere. How can we continue on the journey? What signs do we need to look out for? What things can we be doing when we start to get at that point? So first of all, I'm glad you're all here today. It's so lovely to see the people that are continuing to come on. I just hope that you're getting value from these Zoom calls as well. That is the most important one. So obviously today's topic is motivation and how do we stay motivated when the progress starts to slow. Now, has anyone experienced either, not now because I know that people are getting results anyway, but when you've done other kind of Slimming World, Weight Watchers, any other kind of fat loss journey, has anyone ever experienced progress starting to slow or lack of motivation? You can put it in the chat. You can just raise your hand because I think we have got a raise hand option, haven't we, in here? Let me know. And I want to know the reasons why you lose motivation. What's that one thing that you struggle with when you start to lose motivation? What is it? Would never lose anything in about 3 weeks doing right. Okay, thank you, Lauren. Anybody else got anything where they lose motivation or when they found that progress seems to slow down? This lighting is really doing it in. Anybody else? Thank you, Lauren. I feel like I'm on to feel like my face is bright white. Because like I say, when we are on a fat loss journey, you are going to be faced with a lot of common struggles, and you are going to be challenged, and you are not going to have motivation 24/7. You're not going to have it. It's going to be something that does come and go. And this is why it's so important to ensure that you are implementing those healthy habits that are going to help you continue and to give you that consistency and build that discipline, because they're the things that are going to help you continue on this journey. Because I know that it's so frustrating when you feel like you're doing absolutely everything and you're not getting the results that you deserve, and you feel like you're not making any progress. So I know how frustrated it can be. We've all been there. I've been there myself. And it's quite easy just to throw in the towel and say, well, I'm doing all this and I'm not even getting the results that I want anyway. But that's what I mean. It takes 6 weeks. The other reason why we did the 6 week challenge is because it takes 6 weeks for someone to build a new habit. So over these past 6 weeks, I'm hoping that you're still doing and you've implemented some new healthy habits that are helping you continue on this journey, which everyone is doing, and that's why it's so important just to keep consistent, and that will build your discipline, and just be patient. And I know we do want results now. We want to be getting the progress and seeing the results instantly, but it does take time. So, like I say, we've done Slimming World. You might have done other things that have completely where you've slowed down. And what a lot of people find to do is that when they've done maybe 3 weeks into a program, don't get results, they completely throw in the towel and give up. But this is something that we're going to address today, and the reasons why things might be slowing down and what we can do to overcome them as well. So, like I say, everyone this week is making really, really good progress. And I'm hoping that every week when you have checked in, whether you've lost weight, whether you've maintained, that you are understanding the reasons why these are happening. And it's not giving you, it's not allowing you to, oh, Emma, sorry. I've had a few rough weeks and consistency has dropped, and now I'm struggling to get back into it and get motivated. I know what I need to do, but it's just flicking that switch again and getting back on track. Definitely, it can be so hard when you've either been out of the fat loss journey for a while. A lot of people find it when they come back off a holiday, when they've been ill, when, for me, it's kids in half term. Oh my days, like it can be so hard just to get that motivation, and because they are draining. It's so hard when the kids are off with you and to have that motivation to keep going. But hopefully, like I say, it is like flicking a switch, and hopefully the healthy habits that you've implemented are going to help you overcome these struggles. So this is what this Zoom is going to be all about. So like I say, if you do want to ask any questions, if you do want to unmute yourself and just, share anything, please do. So first, let's talk about like why progress sometimes slows down, because that's probably the main frustrating thing, isn't it? When we're on a fat loss journey, we start getting the results and then we feel like it just stops. It doesn't work. It's slowing down. Why is it doing this? Am I doing something wrong? And that's when the frustration starts to build in as well. And that's when we do lose our motivation, because we feel like we're doing absolutely everything, ticking all the right boxes, but we're not getting the results that we deserve. So there's a few reasons why this can happen, and understanding them can help you manage the kind of your expectations and help you stay motivated. So the first one being is that our body does adapt. As frustrating as it is, as soon as we get ourselves in a calorie deficit, and especially when you've been in one for a while, it's quite easy for the body to adapt to those amount of calories and the amount of food that it is going to be consuming. It's a bit like a robot. It knows once it starts in a deficit, it's like, oh, what's this? It's very different. We're eating less calories, eating more food, and our metabolism boosts, and it really, really gets it fired up, which obviously starts with the fat loss process. But after a while, and this is where something that I do monitor, I monitor with your check-ins, and I also monitor with my one-to-one client check-ins, that you'll start to see where the weight might slowly, you're not getting as many pounds dropping each week. It starts to slow down, and that's when the frustration can start to like happen, and that's when we can lose a bit of motivation. But that's because our body starts adapting to the amount of calories that it is consuming, which is really frustrating. So there's always two ways that I always explain to my clients, like this is what we need to be doing if progress starts to slow down. We can either consume less calories so that we get more into a deficit. However, if you are someone who's says I've been eating 1200 calories, obviously not with me, where you've been on a fat loss journey before, and they've said, oh, I eat 1200 calories, I just can't lose weight if I'm not losing anything. That's because their body's adapted, and it's because their metabolism has slowed down, because that's what happens when we consume very, very drastically low calories. So the only way to fix that is by increasing the calories or completely going on a diet break. So what I do with a lot of my clients when they have come to a plateau, we have a diet break. So that just gives that body that time just to go back to maybe eating more calories and just to fire up that metabolism as well. So that's one of the reasons why your progress might be slow. Your body's just adapted to the amount of calories that you're consuming. So with me, we'll either reduce them or we will tell you to increase your activity level. They're the two ways that we can go about it. So if you feel like you are kind of at that point now where you kind of feel like it's slowing down, you can either reduce your calories slightly or just try and get a little bit more movement in. I would always try and encourage more steps over exercise as well. So just making sure that you are moving as much as possible. And obviously, due to the, like I said, with the calories being so low, sometimes it slows down our metabolism, and that's the reason why this light is really doing my head in. I feel like I've just got a bright white face like a ghost, really stressing me out. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why. So if you are someone, even if in the check-in you feel like you are going through a plateau at the moment, you feel like your metabolism starts to slow down, that where it says in the check-in, is there anything more I can do for you, or anything that you're struggling with, any concerns, message me, and then I can have a little deep, like a bit of a more deeper look into your calories and things. But I would always wouldn't reduce any calories till I personally feel that we were in a plateau. The only way we know is in a plateau is when you are not losing at all. You are maintaining week in, week out. So when people come to me saying, oh, I think progress is slowing down, I'm not losing as much weight, but you're still losing a pound a week, remember that is still a sustainable loss. Anywhere between half a pound to £2 is, to me, we're moving in the right direction. So just because you are only losing maybe pound, half a pound, that doesn't mean your metabolism slowing down. It doesn't mean that you're going through a plateau. It's when it's like 2 or 3 weeks of maintaining, that's when we maybe have a deload week, a diet break, so to speak, is what it would be. And then we'd recalculate calories and get you back on it again. So the other thing, which is the vein of most people's fat loss journey and totally makes them lose motivation and stresses them out, tracking. Tracking is one of those things which unfortunately we have to do. We have to track to make sure that we are consuming less than what our body burns. And the only thing I can say about tracking is that I promise you, you are not going to be tracking for the rest of your lives. It's not going to be something, because you will soon start to realize how many calories in certain things and what a portion size of something looks like. Like you'll just know how many calories are in things, what, and like I say, the perfect size by eyeballing it. So when you reach your point where you have reached your goal, you will no longer have to track your food. But always, it is a very, very handy tool, and I would say the most important tool when starting a fat loss journey. So just make sure that if you are tracking on MyFitnessPal NutriCheck, that any meals or anything that you have, you save them so that you're not constantly having to do them you constantly have to put them in every single time. And always find a time best to track. Now, if you have time in the morning and you've got all your meals planned out, do it first thing in the morning. Get everything tracked in so you know exactly what you're consuming. And then you'd be able to see if you've got any calories left over to have that protein pudding, to have a chocolate bar, whatever it is you want in the evening. Just find the time that works best for you. And I know it is very, very stressful, and it's just one of those things. It's the one thing that people do moan to me about in the check-ins. Do I have to track? Do I have to do this? Yes, you do. You really, really do. Just so that we know how many calories, you are consuming. Hi, Celia. Just so that we can make sure as well. So that can also be the one thing that can tell us whether we are consuming more than what our body is burning basically the reason why we're maintaining or the reason why we're gaining weight. So as much it does, it is a very time consuming and tedious task. It is probably one of the most important to make sure that we're being consistent, and making sure that we are um, hitting the right amount of calories, and that it's not the fact that we are over consuming and not the fact that we're going through a plateau at the moment. So like I say, it does get easier. Just keep saving those meals and keep doing it. The other thing, another reason why you might be slowing your progress or you might be losing motivation, and especially if you feel like you're going through a plateau or maintaining, is what a lot of you are doing now, which you weren't doing before. You are strength training. You're either going to the gym, you're either moving more, you're either doing those home workouts with a kettlebell, with a dumbbell, even like body weight. You are resistance training, you are strength training, you have added that into your daily routine. Now, if you have been strength training, especially if you've been going to the gym, you actually might be gaining muscle while losing fat. And this is why we don't just focus on the scale weight, because you could quite easily be dropping body fat but building muscle. And obviously that will reflect on the scales as you not losing weight. When if you were to take your photos and put them together, you can clearly see that the body fat is dropping. So that's why, again, I do stress about photos. I'm still sometimes having to remind people to put them on, but they are so invaluable, so valuable when you're on this fat loss journey, especially if you feel like the scale's not going in your favour and you feel like the scale's not showing the results that you want. It's quite easy just to let a number determine how the rest of the week goes and to determine whether we even continue on a fat loss journey. So I just can't stress enough how important it is to get those pictures on, which most of you are really, really good at, but it is something that needs to take priority. But obviously, it's also important to remember that muscle is more dense than fat. So that's why sometimes it will weigh a lot heavier. So please don't be upset if the scale is showing that you've gained or if the scale is showing that you've maintained, especially when you've had some really, especially if you've worked your ass off in the gym and you've hit every single session this week, every single home workout. That could be the reason why as well. And not only that, when we do go through strength training, our muscles, obviously our muscle fibers are tearing and coming back together, so we get a lot of swelling as well. So just be mindful of that. Has anyone noticed any of these reasons apply in your own experience? Have you noticed, like, when you've been to the gym, it's impacted the scale? Have you noticed when you've maybe not tracked as much? Has there ever been a point where you felt like you've been in a plateau? Or you thought you're in a plateau and then the week after you lose weight? And you think, oh, no, I weren't in a plateau. Yeah. And it happens. And it's so easy just to think, oh, I'm in a plateau. But what you will be educated with is what to do next, because that's where a lot of us have struggled. And that's where a lot of us have struggled to continue with the journey, because we feel like it's just not working anymore. It's not working, so I might as well give up. It's not working. Whereas actually, if you were actually educated on the reasons why this is happening and all those different factors which I've mentioned, they are all those factors that it could have been. It could be the fact that your body's going through a lot of hormonal changes, especially on what time of the month it is. It could be especially at what kind of age you are as well, especially going through perimenopause, like our bodies adapting things. There's so many reasons why, but this is where I'm hoping that we've been in the academy, we've been with myself. If you do ever feel like progress is slowing down, you'll know kind of what factors they are, and you'll have the education to know, right, well, this is what I need to do. Or you can just reach out to me, and then obviously we'll be able to look at it a little bit deeper and change anything. Because remember, even if you're a one-to-one client or you're an academy member, if you feel like progress is slowing down, you can reach out to me and we can still adapt your calories to make sure that we get things fired up and get things moving in the right direction. So like I say, from where I've seen people in their check-ins, everyone is making progress. Everyone is implementing like these habits that are going to help them throughout the journey as well. So the next thing, now that we understand like why progress might slow down and if we've hit a plateau, we just need to talk about motivation, because that is the one thing that people say to me all the time, like, how do you stay motivated all the time? And you can't rely on motivation alone. It builds and it comes and goes, and that's where you've got to have your consistency and your discipline. And the only way that you are going to build your consistency and discipline is just by showing up every single day and staying patient. Patience is key, and obviously making sure that you show up every day like you would go into work, like you would go into an appointment. You wouldn't miss an appointment at the doctor's. You wouldn't miss a day at work. Like, you hold yourself accountable to be able to do those things, don't we? We've got to go to the doctors. We hold ourselves accountable to go to the doctors. We hold ourselves accountable to get to bloody work. So you've got to hold yourself accountable for this journey as well. And that's the way I kind of like got myself through it. Like, if you can hold yourself accountable in other areas of your life, why can't you do it when it's something to for your health, your fitness, and to make you feel better? If anything, that takes priority. Obviously work, I mean, you've got to go to work and get paid, but do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to make sure that you are just holding yourself accountable. And this is why with motivation, focus on those non-scale victories. And I do bang on about these a hell of a lot, but throughout the check-ins this week, I can't remember who it was, but they mentioned how it's not reflected on the scales, but they've lost 4 inches off the stomach. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is the thing. Like, you can quite easily not have um, a reflection on the scales, but someone's lost 4 inches off the stomach. And if we didn't focus on those non-scale victories, like, and just literally just focused on the scales, we'd be just going round and round in bloody circles. So, like I say, please do like make sure that you focus on how your clothes fit in, pictures, whether you are losing inches from your stomach, whether your energy levels are up, you've hit a PB in the gym, like you've got more energy, you've got more strength, like you're gaining more confidence to wear certain things. These are all like non-scale victories that we really need to be focused on, and they'll be the ones that keep us motivated on the journey as well. And just like I said, if there's any other amazing changes that happens in your body. And the next thing is, when it comes to motivation, is reassess your goals. Like, when you hit a plateau, it can be a great time to reassess your goals. Like, right, what am I wanting to do? Like, ask yourself, are the goals I'm setting myself realistic? And if you feel like they're a bit unrealistic, set yourself new ones that are more achievable and break them up. So instead of looking at the end result, break them up into little ones. So, for instance, if you want to lose, I say, you want to hit your first stone, you wouldn't just be chasing that stone. You'd break it up into points like, let's get to the 2 stone first. Oh, once you get to 2 stone, then you go to the 4, maybe not 2 stone, £2, then we get to the £4, then aim for that half stone. Like, literally break up those goals into more smaller, achievable. And I think what we struggle with is trying to put it in a certain time frame as well. But you've got to understand, in a certain time frame, there might be an illness, there might be a social event that comes up. So you've just got to be realistic and really do focus on, maybe if you do feel like your progress is slowing, just to reassess those goals and make sure that they are more achievable, and not unrealistic. Um, Maybe sometimes focusing on like performance based what goals, such as being able to run faster. I think Emma from the group, she's started doing couch to 5k, so even having goals like that, starting to do running club, being able to run 1k, and just setting things like that, being able to lift something heavier, a PB on the shoulder press, PB on the chest press, anything, just so that it can keep you motivated when fat loss you feel is slowing down. Focus on other areas in your life, and other areas on this journey to kind of focus on and set as goals as well. Other thing with motivation is adjust your routine. If your body has adapted, it might be just certain times just to switch things up. It could be changing your workout routine, increasing the intensity. So if you're only doing 20-minute workouts, increase it to 30 minutes. Even if you're just doing body weight home workouts, trying to get some dumbbells or a kettlebell, incorporate different types of exercise into your routine. Dancing, Zumba, there's so many, swimming, there's so many different things that you can do just to adjust to your routine that's going to help you kind of ignite that enjoyment and that fire up that motivation again. And even sometimes just increasing your calories for a short period of time can actually, like I say, help with resetting your metabolism. So what we call a diet break, where, and I'll always say to my clients when it's a diet break, when we feel like progress has slowed down, like it's not a week to go out and absolutely go mental and consume absolutely everything inside and just go crazy. It is just a week of not tracking, a week of portion control, still eating things that you enjoy, but not in tracking and staying within the calories that you've been in. It's a break, and then obviously you're fired up, ready to go again for the week after. And like I always say, just stay consistent and patient. Um, it is really hard when we want to achieve a goal and we want to get there as soon as possible, but it can be really easy to get discouraged and to give up when we feel like progress is it's stalled. But like I say, this is just why consistency matters like so much, and that's going to be the one that gets you to your goal, especially when motivation has just completely stopped. And I say this all the time, even when it's £0.5 to £1, or even if you have a couple of maintains, like it's important to remember that slow progress is still progress. It's still those little steps getting you towards your goal. So like I say, it's also important to remember that fat loss isn't linear. It doesn't just decline like that. We have ups and downs, and as long as you can get your head around that and stay consistent with your habits, like you will get there, and you are be expected to have ups and downs on this journey. It's not just linear. It's something that will help you on this journey as well. And just focus on like the big picture as well. So remind yourself why you started this journey. And I always say, think about the person who started this journey and how proud they would be of where you are now, everything that you're doing, everything that you've achieved. Yes, you might feel like, oh, I've only lost £5 in 6 weeks. But then if you think about that person who started this journey, they'd have bloody loved to have lost £5. Do you know what I mean? So be proud of like where you are, and just focus and remember your why. And I say, like I said, I've literally just said this to a one-to-one client on our call this week. Think about when you started and that person, how they felt before they started, the habits that they hadn't implemented. And if, like I say, if they could have looked now and think, if you just said to that person, would you like to lose £5? Say, hell yeah, I want to lose £5. So remember how far you've come, and just remember that slow progress is still progress. And I think when you focus on the big picture as well as like your why, and focus about like, and remember that fat loss is not just about how we look and the number on a bloody scale, it's about improving your overall health. We want to feel healthier. We want to live longer. We don't want to run up the stairs and be absolutely knackered. Like, we want to create a healthier lifestyle that we can maintain long term. And this is what it's about as well. It's not just about chasing them on the scale, it's our lifestyle that we're changing for the better. And obviously when you focus on the big picture like that, and instead of the day-to-day fluctuations and chasing them on the scale, it's easy to stay motivated. So just make sure you keep that in mind as well. But like I say, I think everyone is still fired up. We're still excited. The community as well. The community in the New You Academy is like second to none, and I think that is what's helping keep people motivated as well. Because I think when people put the struggles in there, where they put the wins, everyone's just wants to see other people succeed, and that is what I love about it. It's not trying to outdo one another. It's not I've lost this, but it genuinely is a place where everyone supports one another and they want to see everyone succeed, and that is why community is also so important. But before we do wrap up, has anyone got any questions, anything that they are struggling with? If motivation, whether it's anything else that you feel like you're struggling with, or any specific challenges that you think you're facing that you'd like advice on. Is everyone still fired up, still good to go? Because we are going to be getting into the months where it's going going to get hard. We're going into the festive season where it's going to be a lot harder. We're going to have more social events probably coming up. Stress of bloody Christmas. So it is going to be challenging, but this is where the academy is going to be really, really helpful for you to, because normally what would have happened, we'd have probably said, oh, I'll start in January. It's fine. There's no point. But we're not going to do that. We're going to continue. We're going to enjoy Christmas. We're going to enjoy everything about it. And we're going to keep moving forward. But is there anyone who's got any worries, any questions at all? If we don't, that means we're all good. We've got no issues. Everyone's still happy with the progress that we're making. We don't feel like it's slowing down. Don't feel like they're losing motivation. But also, if you do ever feel like you are losing motivation, like please do reach out to either myself or to other academy members, and they will obviously support you. But like I say, just remember that progress is not a straight line. It's more like a bloody winding road with loads of twists and turns and even some bloody bumps in the road as well, which is something that you really do need to be mindful of. But every step forward, no matter how small, is still a step in the right direction, and it's getting us closer and closer to our goals. So like I say focus on your non-scale victories, reassess your goals if you need to. Are they achievable? Are they a bit unrealistic? Think of the bigger picture. Think about that person who started the academy, what they'd be proud of. Would they want to be at the position you are at now? Of course they bloody would. And just keep showing up for yourself every single day. And like I say, focus on those non-scale victories, and you will get to that point where you will reach your goal, and you'll be so proud that you continued and you stuck at it as well. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, guys. And like I say, hopefully these Zooms really do help each week, and it just gives you that kind of that fire to go into a new week ready to go. But yeah, apart from that, if we don't have any questions, I'm zooming on my husband's laptop, so he's got the Zoom on here from last week. So I'm going to get the one from last week, and I'm going to get this one. And once this has done whatever it needs to do, I'll be able to find the other one in the folder. But apart from that, guys, thank you so much for joining. I know it's taking up your evening, but I really do hope that you find them beneficial. And yeah, like I say, if you ever do have any issues regarding progress being slow, motivation, just reach out to me. And yeah, hopefully we don't keep going. But yeah,
Thank you.
oh, thank you, Celia. And just enjoy the rest of your evening, ladies.
Oh, you too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.